What's up, cows? It's your favorite Vamp Cow back at it again with another React Andy. This time round, apparently, waifu wares finished on themselves. Yeah, actually, so I was reached out by waifu wares like a year, or maybe, actually, no, it'd be like 2 to 3 years ago at this point. I think it was also Rogue Energy too. I was reached out by waifu wares and Rogue Energy. Rogue Energy, obviously, for like the energy drink. And then these guys also, they just make like cup designs. See, I thought about it, but then I realized why settle for second place when I'm owed, and I should receive the luxury of being part of Gamer Stuff. So I did not part with them, but I have been mutuals with them for a while, until now. In which case, creator of the company seems to be El Reyes. Based upon the very first frame, we see her alone, where bro says, reiterate, we do not support the use of AI or nor transphobia. Well, so okay, does that include AI upscaling? Does that include, doing something that, would cost me like $40 when it's not even like 15 minutes of work? AI generation would just making Hassan Patcher have a funny smile, or Anthony Fantano having an angry face? Probably. So it's a good thing I didn't partner with them. Isn't that great? Hindsight's only 2020, but man, my thoughts about joining the company, being an affiliate, was aged like wine. But let's see what else that they did. Let's see how much they have tarnished their company. Apparently, as you can see on the first frame as well, they private their account, which means that they obviously had a lot of backlash for their takes.
Hey, what's Gus here? So as the quote in the screenshot says, what a way to start off a Monday. That's right, we have another example of a VTuber merch-related company completely imploding because they wanted to prioritize virtue signaling on social media, bending the knee to a bunch of activists.
Oh, you know what? It actually makes sense I didn't see this now. I forgot. I have like a bunch of meta terms on Twitter. I think one of them is like AI, and the other one's transphobia. Listen, man, any discussions about that, they go absolutely nowhere because from what I've seen, what I understand, people are just kind of like set in their ways about it. Oh no, I'm not gonna change you. I'm not gonna like purposely go on my way to change people's minds or argue with people. That's just like a waste of time. I go to Twitter because I want to see art. I want to see art so I can find more artists to commission. That's it. That's really what I use Twitter for. I kind of have like a few people that are not artists, a very small amount of people that are not artists in one form or another that I'm mutuals with. I also love that they have here affiliate responsibilities, represent the company's brand with professionalism and integrity, promote the company's products in a truthful and ethical manner, use the unique discount code in all promotional efforts, refrain from harassment, hate speech, or discriminatory behavior, immediate removal if violated. Oh no, discriminatory behavior. That's, that is extremely vague. AKA, I guess basically it's a case-by-case basis, aka it's just going to affect one specific side of people. Because I highly doubt anybody that is affiliated with these people, if they've ever said anything about hating white people or Germans, I suspect, and I highly doubt that they ever got removed. Who knows, though? That could be wrong. I'm not going to look into it. I don't care. Also kind of funny that they say represent the company's brand with professionalism and integrity. Meanwhile, they have an Ahegao as their banner. I don't know. To me, that's a little ironic.
Who are hounding one of their talents, who they have now fired. And they fired this VTuber because they said the oh-so-crazy statement, among others, that men can't get periods.
Yep. There are only two genders. There's men and women. That's been like that for the entire animal kingdom. Just because you're human doesn't make it different. Cope.
Yep, that is something so controversial and so damaging.
Sorry, let me also add. There's only two genders and there's only two sexes. If you want to identify as that, cool, but don't be a crybaby and be upset if I don't want to refer to you as a creature, as a they them. You know what? I'll give you a leeway if you are just transitioning and you actually are one of the very, very, very few that actually do have like some form of a gender dysphoria. Those few people exist. Meanwhile, there's a lot more activists out there where that is not the case, and it's very obvious.
They were fired from this company, Waifu Wares, and not only did they bend the knee to these activists, they eventually lost their spine as well, and have deleted all their related posts.
Wow! Aww. If you can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen, Waifu Wares. Which is it? You did so. Which is it? Is the talent in trouble? Is the affiliate in trouble, or are they not? Because why would you delete the tweets? You know, that's probably also why you didn't see it.
And gone private. They did all of this for nothing. They're basically Jellywig squared, right? They bend the knee and then they chicken out, and they look.
Which is the worst thing you can ever do. The worst thing you can do is bend the knee or apologize for something really stupid, and then backpedal on it. And that's, which is extremely hypocritical because, well, I apologize for saying the N-word even though I never said the N-word! Not on stream! I did not! Not with evidence. But I did not! No, they were obvious. The stupid tweets were obviously fucking automatically created by YouTube of me adding, like, the Keemstar N-word rant. Two videos of the Keemstar N-word rant in 2 YouTube playlists. And the third one, I can't even tell you what it was. But I had a bunch of people tell me that. And then under the guise of the people I was, under the guise? Under the, what's the word? Under the advice of the people around me, they told me to when I really shouldn't have. Funnily enough, I've, like, disconnected from every single one of those people, except for one now. So anyways, I know the hypocritical moment, but, I don't know. Obviously, I would like to believe, and I will continue to believe and hope that I will not make that same mistake again. Unlike these guys, who, you know, obviously had it way worse, because what, they had like 8,000 followers? Now they have like 7.5.
Absolutely terrible. Now, unfortunately, this is the subject of this harassment campaign. Yukiwaru, who's already gained hundreds of followers, and I'm sure after this video they're going to gain a lot more as well. And that's how this whole thing works, right? These VTubers get deemed problematic, they get punished for having the wrong think, and everyone thinks that's going to squash their career, but it always has the opposite effect. The Stries.
I don't know. It didn't always, but in recent times, I'd say in like the past, like, I'd say ever since middle of 2023, that has been the case almost always. Before 2023, dude, cancellation campaigns, like, your life would be, it would feel like your life on the internet is completely over. You'd have everything about you dragged in the mud. Because anybody that would speak for you, they would also get in trouble. They would also get banned. So, you know, and anybody and everybody that even had a similar opinion would just never speak up because, oh, they get in trouble, they get canceled, they get banned. Thank you, Elon, for buying Twitter and allowing free speech.
In effect, takes place and they gain a ton of support because it turns out the Looney Tunes on social media are not the average VTuber fan. It's the exact opposite, actually. And you would think this company would be grateful, especially a small company like Waifu Wares, who had a talent like Yuki here, who sold out their most recent shaker.
Of course they're not. Of course they're not appreciative because these people believe that they're going to get more sales because they adhere to these, you know, the cancellation mob. That's the thinking every single time, and almost every single time it's proven wrong. But that's exactly why they do what they do, because, again, these corporations that get rid of towns over really stupid things like this, that they're just retards. They're just retards. Period. They're just retards. They're just retards that don't have any pattern recognition
with the company. But nope, Waifu Wares thought otherwise, and as you can see from their description here, Waifu Wares is a UK-based company that sells white.
Also kind of makes sense that they would do it too because they are based in the UK. If you think, like, America's left-leaning, no matter how left-leaning you think, like, the average Democrat is in America, just to, like, imagine that, but in the UK. Although, funny thing, Republicans are actually Democrats. And Democrats are Republicans over there. I don't get it. I don't know which came first. It's needlessly confusing, though.
Food-related products at affordable prices. Yeah, UK-based company, more like UK soy company, am I right, ladies and gentlemen? But jokes aside, it's not too
That was awful, man.
surprising when you look into this company.
Not funny. Didn't laugh.
Because their mission states that they're not driven solely by profits. Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Right. Uh-huh.
You're also driven by activism and bending the knee to a bunch of people who are never going to support you in any sort of a tangible way whatsoever. And this is actually the VTuber who began the entire campaign.
I think I would believe somebody more. I would actually believe somebody's less in it for the money if they just flat out say they are in comparison to someone that they're not. Or anything saying they're not, especially like a corporation or a merchandise company. Like, you're selling merchandise for a reason. You're not there to break even. You're there to make money. Dude, I make content creation because I also want money. Yeah. Who the fuck doesn't want more money?
Campaign against Yuki. Their name is Cats. This VTuber would make this post right here, saying, literally felt my stomach turn watching
Ugly PFP, by the way.
Through this video. Ew. Never thought I'd see the day I get involved in drama publicly.
Bro, they have the word retard censored too. My word. Aspiring lolly partnered VTuber goes on transphobic rant. Bro, they even got the word retards censored. It's not a slur. You're just a Cro-Magnon if you think so. It's that simple. Like, obviously you're not well, you consider the word retard. Saying a retard would be... Calling you a retard would be redundant. Calling you a Cro-Magnon? Now that's Peem.
But I feel actually sick to my stomach knowing I once called this person friend, felt it was worth sharing as
yeah, right. I highly doubt you were ever considered them a friend.
A PSA. And what they're linking is a YouTube video apparently exposing Yuki as some sort of terrible, awful person where they have these incredibly transphobic views. And guess what? This is a snapshot of the things she said. Brace yourselves. You're about to hear some really crazy statements.
Oh boy.
I'm going full unhinged right now. It's those men who are becoming women who say they get their periods. There was like a questionnaire of a guy saying they get their periods, but they don't bleed. They just get like cramps and stuff.
Yeah, she's literally just mentioned, you know, fun fact, there's actually a news article about, quote unquote, transgender. Is it transgender men or is it transgender women? I don't remember. So, no, wait, it's transgender women. There's an article about quote unquote transgender women who, to simulate having a period, they get like blood, they freeze it, and then they stick it up like their asshole. And as it like melts, it supposedly simulates them having a period. I feel like that's exactly what she's referencing. If that's not what she's referencing, you're welcome for being traumatized with that information now. If you don't believe me, it's as simple as looking up. You know what? Why don't I just look it up too? Because you know what? It's one thing to tell someone to look it up, but I will look it up myself. What is it? What did I say again? Transgender women freezing blood and putting it up their butthole. You know what? You know what? Let's see. Hopefully this does not bring up anything sussy. Alright, let's see. Okay, there's a whole bunch of okay, there's all of this. They're built their butt tamponing frozen tomato soup. Oh, it's tomato soup too? Yeah, this there's a lot of about yeah, there's yeah, I'm not gonna click on any of those. I threw my point.
Fucking excuse me? As a girl, as a woman who bleeds down there once a month, is literally on birth control. These people are out here like, I identify as a girl, therefore, I get my period, and I can get pregnant. No, you fucking can't! You can't! Like, fall in love with whoever you want to fall in love with. But when you're at a pride parade and you're in full, like, BDSM dog wear and greeting kids, there's something wrong with you. If you're a teacher...
And of course, this is what got her removed from being an affiliate. That got her removed from being an affiliate. How is this not, like, normal... How is this not a normal reaction to an absurd reality? Yeah, well, then again, though, we live in clown world, so the absurdity is the normal, and the normal is the absurdity.
Kids to be
at least when it comes to Twitter.
To be gay, to do that so young, there's something wrong with you. Let me tell you, growing up, I was a tomboy. Like, I thought I wanted to be a boy. I wanted to be like my cousin. My cousin... Base
tomboy! Please! I need me a dark-skinned tomboy! Please!
was a boy, and I thought he was the fucking coolest. So I wanted to wear boy clothes like him. I wanted to have short hair. I wanted to do sports. Like shit.
And fun fact, that's normal! Dude, when I was a kid, I want to play with Barbies. You know why? Because I liked how the Barbie design looked. I thought Ken was cool. Ken was fucking muscular. But I didn't want to like the super duper manly man like guys with guns. I just wanted Ken because he was just a normal dude, but he was built. But nope, nowadays, if you like women toys, obviously you must want to become a woman. If you like men toys, obviously you want to be a man. No, literally that's just normal. That's been normal, but not in like the past 15 years. That's supposedly not been normal. You have something wrong with you if you like that, if you want
like
that.
I just wanted to be like him. I thought I actually wanted to be a boy. And you know, my younger sister Waru, copied everything I did. So therefore, she also thought she wanted to be a boy. If what is happening today was happening back then when I was a kid, I probably would have been, I don't know, in some form of transforming as a child and regretted it. Because I love being a girl.
Yeah, there's no such thing also as trans kids. There's only such thing as mentally ill parents.
Yeah, so this person feels sick to their stomach and has let go of their former friend because Yuki stated, among many things, that...
Yeah, listen, if that's all it takes for you to, like, disown hanging out with somebody, you never really were their friend to begin with. It's just that simple.
Men can't get periods, that making being trans your entire personality is cringe just like anything else in life. Also, that they should leave children alone and that teachers and other trusted adults should not be trying to transition, aka groom, minors. And also that she was a tomboy when she was raised, and she is thankful she was not raised in this current era where she might have been led into decisions she would later regret as someone who's very proud to be a girl.
Yeah, and all the stories of these people that were, conditioned to transition when they were young, there's like a 50%, it's literally a coin flip. It's literally a coin flip, a 50-50 chance whether or not you regret it. Those are not good odds. You should not be pushing kids to go into those odds where like half the time they will regret it or half the time they will think it was a good decision. If you should let them decide when you should not push them, and you should only tell them or let them decide when they're above the age 18. If they really, really need it. Even then, though, I would highly recommend anybody that feels like they have gender dysphoria to go to a therapist first. Because a lot of times, that's all you need to do. But even then, though, you can't trust some therapists now. Because they even push for that. Like, on certain conditions, but again, 50-50 chance, like, what?
Now, of course, a lot of the replies are not going the original poster's way, saying, based, if you don't have a uterus, you can't get a period, watch his video, no lie detected, how is it phobic, she's stating facts, well, they're fact-phobic, okay? Streisand effect.
Yeah, back during 2022, this would not be happening. It would actually be, this would be filled with a bunch of people saying, actually, she's in the wrong. And they would be completely getting dunked on right now.
Stop trying to destroy someone's career or character for them just stating something factual. Just because your opinion disagrees with theirs doesn't mean they're not allowed to have one.
It's awesome the world's finally waking up. I felt like insane because I was surrounded by these people and I felt obligated to keep quiet in fear that they would also ruin my life.
It sounds like they were only your...
Because I did not think like them. They knew I didn't think like them, but they didn't know exactly what I thought. And that was the thing. And that's why they tried to murder me in Minecraft.
Friend when it was convenient for you. Are you genuinely effing insane? Do you have a link? I need to drop her a follow. It's rare to find sane VTubers anymore. Most of them are virtue signaling hats like you. Now, of course, there's other people who disagree with the previous sentiment, saying a list of problematic topics that were raised, including going on a rant about how trans women don't get periods. Apparently that is problematic to say. And well,
I think it's possible if they start taking dosages when or for like a long period of time or early enough in like childhood, but that's extreme. Again, doing that during childhood is extremely dangerous. And yeah, again, the 50-50 where half the time they regret it, half the time they don't.
It was enough to get them terminated. Among, many other people complaining as well, but Waifu Wars bent the knee to these people, saying, what a start to a Monday. Just to reiterate, we do not support the use of AI art, nor do we support transphobia, with some of the rules. And yes, AI was also a part of this. You know how these Looney Tunes feel about AI art? They think it's literally worse than offing someone.
Listen, man, a lot of... I'm gonna throw VGen under the bus. Dude, VGen, a lot of the artists on VGen, dude, I can tell you, AI can do better than like 70% of them. That's not a compliment. That's not a compliment to AI. I'm saying that their art is, like, a lot of the people on there, their art's so dog water that a robot that was trained from every single art piece on the internet can somehow do something better. That's not a compliment.
Right, so that was another part of it, but it was really the trans...
And again, also, why would I want to pay a guy like $40 to $50 for a thumbnail when all I want to do in most of the time is like make a guy look more sad than what he is, more angry than what he is? Literally just those two emotions, either more sad or more angry than what he is. Why would I want to pay $40 or $50 for that when I can just get it for free? I don't make money from thumbnails. I also don't want to spend the time and investment to do that myself. Oh no, the horror, the tragedy. I want to do other shit with my time. Ooh.
Phobia, the supposed transphobia that they're really upset about. Now, of course, they don't directly mention her in this post, but it's very obvious based on the context, and also additional context like this, where a post tagged Waifu Wars, saying, you fired Yukiwaru for daring to say that men shouldn't have periods. And, well, they untagged themselves from that post. They
You're gonna untag yourself? From someone else's post? I didn't even know that was a possibility. I thought only the creator could do that.
Actually saw this and manually untagged themselves, clearly pretty affected by this. They didn't like this. They didn't like that their actions have been highlighted by users like this. But before they went down, they shared other classics like this, saying, I want Waifu Wares to be an inclusive and supportive community. And until you think the wrong way. Like, I built this up for nearly 4 years to kind of preach those values. Business? You're supposed to be a business? Oh, okay. I can't control actions of others. Sadly,
if you're really a business, you really shouldn't be that dictatorial of what the people under your brand can say, unless you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt that it is actively harming your sales, that having that person around is harming your sales. That's what I think.
which is very true.
Like, obviously, that wasn't the case. The woman had her cup sold out through Waifu Wares, so you're retarded.
And then this person also says something true, saying, no, but you control how you react to them. All right, we're cooking. What's next? Proud to see this is how. Glad to be a part of this wonderful company. Oh, again, they're just so close to understanding. Yes, you cannot control the actions of others, but you can control your own. The problem here is that Waifu Wares responded very embarrassingly to the actions of someone else. They bent the knee to a bunch of activists, whether it's in their company, which clearly they're not doing that much for them in the first place, or it's people who are not a part of the company, potential customers who never had interest in the first place, and the people who might have been are completely disgusted by their reaction. But let's not overlook the reply to that statement by Waifu Wares, saying, I don't harbor any ill will to anyone. Everyone has their own views, and that's fine. I respect that.
Obviously you don't.
But when it comes to business, yada, yada, yada,
But when it comes to business, I actually don't like making money. That's exactly why I have it stated in the TOS that we are not there for money. That's exactly why I got rid of a creator that just had their cup sold out. Dumbass.
Can't support it. Yeah, they really do support other people's views until those views contradict their own. When it comes to Yukiwaru's views, well, that's not something they can respect. And for the record, she doubled down, okay? She is not afraid of her beliefs. The VTuber who made the original...
Oh, wait, she posted that herself? Oh, wait, was that? No. The thumbnail's clickbait. Oh, no, wait, never mind. She didn't post that herself. Wait, so this person... You really DM'd your friend over that? You really DM'd your quote-unquote friend over that? Oh, honey, that's not clickbait. That's pretty fucking accurate and disgusting. Okay. Bitch. That'd be an easy block.
Call-out post shared a screenshot.
Dude, you know, actually... Dude, oh, you know what? That reminds me of the time. I actually had some VTuber send me a whole paragraph. Just because what is it? There's two things that really pissed me off about them, and I, like, basically kind of don't... Yeah, there's two things... Well, no, there's one thing that pissed me off, and there was another thing that apparently pissed them off. The one thing that pissed them off is that I basically redeemed a thing on their channel where they listened to a song of my choosing. I pressed the button too many times. I wanted to share my music a little bit too much, than what I like to listen to. And then, you know, I asked them to collab one day, and they said no. But then they collab with someone else, and I called them out for it. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, I really forgot." No, they didn't. That's a lie. They just didn't wanna, bitch. So basically, after I did the song request thingy like too many times, like the next morning, I would just wake up and I see a long ass paragraph. I can't even tell you what like the first or last sentence was. All I saw was that there was a paragraph. It's something about my like redeeming too much of their channel. I was just like, okay, man, you're not even human. Like, it's not my problem that I, as a chatter, redeemed the thing that you had no cooldowns for. So you didn't have to send me a whole paragraph. So I just instantly blocked them and I moved on with my day. Actually, no, I didn't instantly block them. I removed them as a friend, and then they were like on the fence about adding me as a friend or not, because they sent me a friend request, then they canceled it, then they sent me one back, and then I blocked them everywhere. Because I was like, you're not worth it, man. You're not who you think you are. You're not the guy. You're not the girl.
A Discord screenshot here of a private message between the two, saying, "Just curious, is this actually a clip from your stream?" referring to the clip we saw earlier. And Yuki says, "The thumbnail is clickbait, but I said what I said. I said nothing wrong. I said my opinion, and being flamed." And this cat individual...
And yeah, she loves to use also the word honey. I forgot to mention that. The favorite buzzword all these like weird people like to use, like honey, babe, sweetheart. Like, dude, calling me a pleasant word and then insulting me, it doesn't have the effect that you think it does. It just comes off. It just comes off that you're actually like talking to a child. You know, I think that's exactly why it feels off to me, because every time I hear those words and then there's an insult followed afterward, it just makes me feel like that they're talking to me like a child. And I'm just like, do you even perceive me as a child? Do you really think I'm like that stupid or what? But that's the thing with these people, you know, they do think you are a lesser intellectual just because you have a different opinion than them.
Individual says, "Oh."
Meanwhile, I also think the same thing. But not quite because they have a different opinion. Just because they can't respect mine.
"Oh, honey, that's not clickbait. That's pretty effing accurate and disgusting."
Actually, to an extent. You know, I do think they're also kind of retarded. Because, you know, denying that transgender women can't have periods is a fact. It's a fact they can't, man.
Yes, being called disgusting by the people who have an issue with someone saying leave kids alone is absolutely diabolical. But, of course,
hey,
what
teacher, leave those kids alone.
Happened to the post? Well, my wife, Darling Straub here, had a very interesting experience. I saw this happen in real time.
His wife! Straub, let's go! What did the wife say?
She's like, check out my quote. And literally within minutes of her quote, on a post that had been up for nearly a day at this point, they blocked her instantly, and then they deleted their post. Now, I'm not much of a narcissist, but I would like to believe they might have seen what was coming here and they tried to flee the scene of the crime. But unfortunately for them, it makes them look worse, because not only are they bending the knee initially, now they're not even standing on business, right? They're spineless. They're not even standing by their decision. They're immediately nuking their post the second they get any sort of backlash or fear backlash. And it's always this, everyone's gangster, till it's, this tweet has been deleted, which leads to really funny screenshots, like people quoting the now deleted announcement saying Waifu Wears continues to be the absolute GOAT. W Waifu Wears. And here's this reply here. Preach.
The funny thing I find, though, is I've also never heard of a single of these people. There's actually only one person I know of that's, like, affiliate with, like, waifu wares. And that person's also a bitch.
Shit. And of course, this is now behind a private account saying, I want waifu wares to be an inclusive and supportive community like I built up over the last 4 years, and to kind of preach those values. And here's another one saying, thank you for being amazing. We need more companies like you around these parts. And waifu wares says, thank you, Captain.
I feel like I've seen Captain Danny Floss here and there, though. Maybe in Rev's videos.
Always gotta look out for the homies. Now, who's this individual? Because they're involved in the final wave of this video, which is people virtue signaling and trying to blacklist people and trying to basically ruin their career over this situation. And you have this VTuber, again, a small following VTuber, who decides they have the power to blacklist people. So this was their quote to the original call-out post saying, wake up, see my new merch partner talking about how they don't stand for transphobia and have cut ties with someone. Confused. See this video. Someone making awful transphobic rants with merch company products all over the video. Oh yeah, that's how you get blacklisted fast.
Corny.
I'm glad individuals like this have the...
Like, that is the corniest green text format. That's the corniest green text format that you can't even properly do. Because it's not 4chan, I've seen. And I use green text format. I know how cringe it is. I don't... Sorry, I was like, I twisted my foot the wrong way, and I could actually feel like a Charlie horse form in the fucking center of my foot. Anyways, what was I saying? Listen, I use green text 4chan format. I don't use 4chan either. But even I know with my cringe and my corny, your shit is like 3,000 times more corny, bro.
Confidence to believe they can blacklist anybody. It's
for those that are too stupid to understand, it's 30 times.
Literally just peak narcissism, but what do you expect? But here's another part of this arc here, where we have this artist who apparently made the model for Yuki. And this was their reply saying, I'm the artist of her model, and I was friends with her for years. I'm also non-binary. Hearing her...
But binary means ones and zeros. How can you're not a 1 and 0? They gasp? Are you an error? Are you a missing texture?
Say this stuff was a punch in the gut, on top of her using the model to create AI images. I'm absolutely devastated by what's happening. And then the original poster says, I'm genuinely so sorry. I was feeling literally sick to my stomach, sitting there, trying to process what I saw as a friend. I can't imagine.
If your friend literally says that and you can't stomach it, you have, like, the weakest stomach. How about you go to Gaza for a month, and then you tell me what's stomachable and not then.
How this must have made you feel, considering the way they're acting on top of all the AI stuff with your arts. I hope you're okay. Yeah, you can see 2 friends lost over this situation. Like, clearly you knew nothing about this individual if this came as some sudden shock to you. And you know what? Good riddance. Get rid of people like this. Filter them. These people were lying in wait for the moment you expressed 1 ounce of wrongthink to publicly...
Also, footnote aside, you're no such thing as non-binary. You're a man or a woman, unless you're transitioning. I'll give you leeway then, but I highly doubt that.
Disavow you for clout and
see any flags in your bio
on social media. But of course,
I don't see flags in your bio.
The thread continues with the artist saying, I'm not super okay. It's a literal nightmare.
Okay, Leafy's here. Relax. Chill out. Sheesh.
It doesn't even feel real somehow. Seeing the screenshot of her doubling down as well, I wish I knew how we got here. It's just a gut punch and another gut punch. I'm not sure what to do yet aside from crying about...
How is it really... Why does it hurt that bad, man? If you just don't agree, just, like, mute them, block them, move on. It really isn't that deep. If it's really make or break, you actually wouldn't be all that upset. You'd only be upset at the, like, idea of the memories you formed, but that's not what I'm getting here. I'm just getting, I'm lay sad. Give me the brownie point. Give me the hug. Give me the follow.
World problems. You see someone with a different opinion than you, and you're crying about it and disavowing them publicly. Insane. Literal nightmare, by the way. But then someone says, wish it were possible to revoke her rights to use the model. And the artist does a shushing emoji, implying they're going to revoke the rights of Yuki to that model.
Now, that's extremely corny, and that's extreme, how do you put it? You're just like you're a cunt if you do that. That's simple. Oh no, guys, this person's an opinion I don't like. Guess I gotta just get rid of all the privileges of them being able to stream with what they usually been able to. Because they said men are only men and women are only women. Oh, the tragedy! No, we can't have different opinions on the internet. No. It's not like y'all had like it's not like they stole money from you, man. That's rights to revoke a model from somebody, or not paying somebody back, or, you know, just treating them like shit for years with proof. No, that's here, though. Only thing here. I hear opinion I didn't like. They said I'm gonna take back my dough.
Which...
no, fuck you. I would not care. I would still use the model anyway.
By the way, if you don't have any sort of breach of contract that happened here, ooh, this is a really, really bad move. So, unless there was some terms in the contract that would bar her from continuing to use this model, I would highly suggest not doing this, okay? And even if you have the right, should you? Is that really the best solution here because you're angry about...
I mean, not to mention, who's to say whether or not, like, the TOS they provide or state is actually the TOS when the commission was made? Because somebody could just change their terms of service and it'd say, so my TOS says this after they just changed it to then revoke rights. How am I supposed to trust you? How am I supposed to believe you when I don't have the written contract with me? Or you don't have a physical contract or a contract with a screenshot of the date taken? You expect me to just, you know, take your word for it? No, I don't think I will.
Your friend having wrongthink, or heaven forbid using AI, now all of a sudden you're going to revoke their right to using the VTuber model. But of course, you can't stop the virtue signaling. After making the replies, they would make a separate post saying, I'd like to ask people to use the current situation as grounds to spread kindness and awareness. Trans people struggle, yada, 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 and they list a bunch of organizations, and one of them is Mermaids, which is an organization that targets children, which feels really relevant to this entire clip that got...
Oh, so they're promoting child abuse. Isn't that awesome?
Yuki in trouble with these people, because this trans charity has routinely targeted minors. In fact, they admitted that they were selling binders to not young people, as this article suggests. No, it was children, including children between the ages of 13 and 16, without the knowledge of their parents or guardians. Thank you to this
supporting child abuse with proof. Isn't that awesome?
This user for proving Yuki's point. You literally proved one of her points from her transphobic rants. Incredible. But of course, let's go back to this part. I want to use this situation as grounds to spread kindness and awareness while threatening to revoke her rights to her model. But also, this is another reply where someone says, respectfully. She's right, sorry you're lost in life right now, but you will find yourself, I'm sure. And the artist says, respectfully, go F yourself sideways, which is a very interesting way to spread kindness, is it not? But then this user points out something very obvious here. Also, at least I'm a man of my word. How about you? And of course, you can see that they quit Twitter. And now
they quit Twitter. They even have it in their username. And here they are, still using it. You know why? Because Blue Sky's a dying platform. And barely anybody's using it. Barely anybody finds anybody through it. Womp womp.
They're on Blue Sky. And just like every other Blue Sky user, they always come crawling back to this platform they think is so evil. But don't worry, they're also active on the insane asylum that is Blue Sky, where they're making posts like this saying, remembering why I stopped using Twitter.
I stopped using Twitter because people were really mean to me. My brother in Christ, you only got like 3 tweets. You only got 3 likes on that. 3 likes, 1 retweet, 1 comment. Oh, man. Oh, I used to remember why I stopped using Twitter. Well, I also see why you don't really use Blue Sky all that much. In comparison to your 163 like tweet where you said you're gonna... said, you know, you've been friends with her for years and this hurt you so bad.
Feel sick. Imagine getting to the point where freaking Powder... Oh, they lumped in Powder because apparently she replied, Powder agrees with your stance and takes your side. Hope it was worth it, Yuki. Hope you were proud. Narcissists... First world problems, delusions, it's all here, ladies and gentlemen. Like, literally log off of social media if you're this fragile. That's a genuine piece of advice. That's my kindness to you. You seem way too invested emotionally in things that should not make you this upset. That's my advice. But yeah, very interesting situation, ladies and gentlemen, and as you can see, Yuki Waru is reaping the benefits, and of course I'll put a link to her Twitter account in the pinned comment and description as well. Feel free to give her a follow if you like her takes or you want to check out her content. That's
yeah, I'm good. She doesn't do art. That's not, you know, I'm picky. What can I say? But hey, if you like Rev's coverage on waifu wares being fools and making a fool of themselves and then backpedaling, be sure to like, comment, subscribe on his video. If you enjoyed what I had to say, be sure to subscribe, leave a like for more, and tell me what you thought. And I'll see you, Vamp Cows, next time I feast upon my next victim. Bye!